Hey guys, it's holiday time again, and I might not be doing a whole lot of videos over the next few weeks, but at least I wanted to make this quick one because this package just arrived in the mail. And now, as you might imagine, it's not actually a custom kitchen. That just happens to be the box the seller used. What this is me taking what could be a foolish gamble on eBay. We shall see. It's picture tube, I'll tell you that right away. Untested. And it's a 19-inch picture tube metal cone. Kind of bummed it because I had one that tested really good, but I didn't think I'd ever need it, so I sold it pretty cheap. But now I've got that Strumber Carlson TC19, which has a picture tube that tests okay for now. But the spare came up for sale. They don't come up for sale very often, so I figured I would take a chance. Appeared to be a rebuild, and well, appears to have survived the trip. Base is a little loose. I've been told that when they've got a red cone like that, that means that they're a rebuild. Don't know for sure. But if this really is a 19 AP4A, I think that might be aluminized. For a long time I thought that there were no aluminized metal cone picture tubes, but yeah, I think there actually might be an aluminized 19, which would mean it is much brighter. Probably doesn't need an ion trap magnet either. So, I was also a little bit less leery of the seller shipping this because it came with some of the original packing material. So you don't need a sea of peanuts when you ship a picture tube. What you need is some strategically positioned cardboard bracing, such as this. So what you don't want is the box to cave in and hit the picture tube. Otherwise, you don't need packing all around here. Here's a better look at it. Only a red cone, but red base as well. Got knocked a little loose, a little crooked too. And yeah, it's a rebuild. It's got a seam right here. It's pretty well done now. I've seen much sloppier neck welds than that. And the getters look very nice and shiny, so that's definitely a good sign. The faceplate is gray. Let's put it up a bit here. I cannot tell if it's aluminized because the aluminized coating would be on the inside, so I really have no way of knowing. It certainly is a bent gun, so it will require an ion trap magnet for use in the set. So I'll hook this up to my RCA WT509 and see if it's any good. So far so good. Definitely have a filament glow. Let's see. Here, cathode leakage. No G1 leakage. Let's see about cutoff. Not getting much. I'm not sure if G1 should be high or low though. Same with G2. I'll put G2 high. Definitely get something. The printout that somebody kindly gave me for this, I only have it going up to 16 CP4. So G1 to A, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think most common black and white tubes grid would be high, and this I'm not sure about. Okay, both low and stuff, unless noted high on chart. Alright. Just getting a little bit of an indication with both of these in low, but anyways, let's go to this. Ooh, weak. But it is responding to the cutoff, so it's good. Well, I'll certainly let this sit and cook for a while. So yeah, it's slowly climbing. Now, I knew it was a gamble. Not only is it any good or not, but what often is the case is when people would get a new picture tube, they put the old one in the box that the new one came in and just hang on to it. But this has been rebuilt, so it could very well be it was rebuilt and then used a long time and the emissions are weak. It could also have been sitting around for 50 years and it's just going to take a little while to wake up. I let it sit for about 15 minutes and sure enough emissions came well up into the green. And cutoff way more responsive now. I'm supposed to adjust it for 2 divisions and check the emissions. So I'm always telling people, gotta let it sit for at least a few hours before I would ever dream of using rejuvenate function, because that can strip off the cathode and leave you with a dead, useless CRT. So that was definitely worth the gamble. I'm going to switch over to my Suncor CR70 and see how that checks out, because it also has a life test, which essentially just drops the heater down a notch. But since this is a fairly rare, hard to find tube, I want to double check this with a couple testers to make sure that it's definitely no shorts and has a good life. Now with CR70 I've got the full tube setup chart, so I definitely will have a 19AP4 in here. There it is. 6.36. Set this down a bit. And here we go. Oh, must have checked a scope type CRT last. I'm gonna make sure I put that back on the video. Okay, filament's glowing as before. And let's see what this has to say about shorts. Shorts, no shorts. Excellent cutoff control again. Get it in the black box. Cool. Little jittery. Sometimes these clips don't stay on so good. Something very, very, very long overdue is for me to make an adapter for this type of Duo Decal 12-pin base, since that's pretty much all I test. This filament leads, so I'm going to wait for that thing to heat back up again. Cool. I can try the life test. Not so great, but I'll let this sit a while longer and cook. Well, I'm doing that. You may notice there's a couple more Suncor devices down here. One is a TC162. I actually have 2 of these now. Tube testers. One of them works fairly well. This one, something's up with it. It's not working right. Some tube types seem to work okay, some don't. I suspect bad connection somewhere, dirty tube socket, something's not right. So I want to take a look at that. And underneath that, we've got another Suncor CR70. Got this from a local collector who was moving and wanted to downsize, and it doesn't work. He posted about this on Video Karma. We tried to help him get it working, but he wasn't able to. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Plus, I figured some of you guys have seen me use this many times are curious as to what's actually inside this. Now, there wasn't any service info readily available. It's a really blurry schematic, so I forked out the money to get the full service info. So I've got a nice schematic and service information like test point voltages and such. So I figure I have a decent chance of getting this working. This one's a little rough though. It's missing the book up here. It's missing the whole thing back here to hold the sockets in place. It's missing some of the test sockets, no universal adapter. But I figure it'd be nice to have a spare. I can certainly use adapters and whatnot from this guy. Well, you know, so if the main unit on that one ever dies, I can use its adapters with this or make up a new one. I do have the pinout for this, and it's not too hard to make an adapter for it. I do know enough about these. I've looked inside this already, actually, and very serviceable. No obscure components, no factory mark components. It's all off the shelf power transistors and ICs and such. So I think there's a very good chance this can be made work properly again. I suppose I should mention a little about what a metal cone pitcher tube is for those of you who don't know. What they did is they made as much as they could of the CRT with thin steel rather than glass to save weight while maintaining strength. And this entire bit of metal gets attached to high voltage rather than having glass with the little plug and you put the rubber suction cup with the high voltage lead on that for insulation. This whole thing is high voltage. That's why they made it red, and you got to stay away from that because you will get a nasty jolt if your hand comes anywhere near that when it's powered up in this set. As you might imagine, when it's in the cabinet, there's plastic insulators around this, and it's kept well away from anything else that might short to. But the savings is weight. The weight's considerably less. I don't even think there was a 19-inch all-glass round pitcher tube until recently, and they sure aren't common. I do have a 16-inch in both glass and metal version's probably less than 10 pounds. The all-glass version, 25, 30 pounds. And I can only imagine a 19-inch all-glass is considerably more, probably over 50 pounds, because you got to make that glass fairly thick. The larger it is, you got all that pressure against it, pushing down the whole atmosphere, pushing into the vacuum inside that CRT. You got to have thick glass to prevent it from imploding. Well, with these, thin steel, plenty strong, and weighs considerably less, so that's why they did it. But the problem is, you can get leaks between the glass and the metal. But this one seems to be holding up all right. And now that it's been running a good 15 plus minutes, let's check out this life test again. Much better. Not quite as good as a brand new pitch tube would be, but that's pretty darn respectable, so I think this will work out just fine should I ever need to use it. That's from Carlson as a rather rare TV, so I definitely want to get it fully restored with a good solid CRT in it. This is very nice to have the spare. Hope you enjoyed this look at testing out the rebuilt 19 AP4 scored off of eBay, and be looking for a video on troubleshooting and repairing a Syncor CR70 in the near future.